And what is going on, boys and girls? We are back at it again with another week of NFL picks. It is week 13 in this 2018 season. We're just gonna kind of move on from my Titans debacle Monday night. Hopefully, we'll move on and get better. It was a rough one to watch. I actually had to just switch to listening to it on the radio. The TV broadcast just was a little too rough for me, but thank God for SiriusXM, and I got to listen to Titans radio on SiriusXM. It was nice. But this week, we're going to start off tonight. We got the Saints at Dallas. And I've originally said Saints because that's the easiest pick. I would like to see the Cowboys do well in this game because they do have a good defense, and it'll be good to see if how a good defense goes against probably the best offense, at least one of the top three offenses in the league right now. It's going to be a tough task, but Dallas is at home. They do have one home loss, and that's it. If they were in New Orleans, I'd pretty much go 100% New Orleans would win this game. But being in Dallas, they seem to do well there. They only have one loss, and that was against the Tennessee Titans. And it could be interesting. I don't really like how DeMarcus Lawrence came out with what he said. I think, it's good to be, pumping yourself up and thinking you have a shot or have optimism there. But the wordage he chose was not really the route I think was the best way to go on that. But he's got a tough task. He's got to live up to it today, and that defense has to show up. There's worry that they might have woken the Saints, who could have lulled into this game on a short week. But you can bet they're probably ready now, if they weren't already. But it lists the Saints as a 7.5 point favorite. I think the Dallas Cowboys can make it a good game. I'm going to stick with the Saints on this one, but it would be good to see the Saints see how they do against a heavier defense, especially that defensive line. The linebackers have been great the past few weeks. Both teams are on a good winning streak. The Saints, I believe it's 7 games in a row, something like that, and the Cowboys are on a 3-game winning streak. So it should be a good game tonight. It could be a blowout if the Cowboys don't show up on defense. Their offense has been getting better. I like Amari Cooper's really showing why he's worth what the Cowboys gave up. At least the Cowboys are hoping so, that he keeps going. They have gotten better since that Titans loss, and it's looking good for the rest of the year. They have a shot to make the playoffs because the Redskins are going through injuries. The Eagles have been kind of struggling all year to really get their footing. The Giants have been just kind of terrible, but they've been in games here lately. So it's good for the Cowboys. Especially if they can get this win, that's a big morale booster. If they're competitive in this game, I think it's a big morale booster. But yeah, I'm going to go Saints on this one. It'll just be the second loss in Dallas this year, but we just have to see, I guess. But on the Sunday slate, we got first up at Baltimore at Atlanta. 2.5 point favorites, Baltimore. I think Baltimore should be able to handle Atlanta. Atlanta at home is interesting. It might be a little bit of struggle. Lamar Jackson with the Ravens has been good. A little better than I thought. I thought maybe there would be some struggles, but him being able to run with the ball, and he can throw also. So, it's a good dual threat for the Ravens. So I'll go with the Ravens on that one. Then we have the Broncos at Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is the 1.5 point favorite. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to be that great. Andy Dalton's down. They weren't really as good as they were with Dalton at the start of the year. They haven't been as good recently. Denver, on the other hand, they have a shot to get back in this playoffs. It's kind of a long shot, but if they win out, they end up being 10-6 right now. So it's possible. It's possible they might be able to get in on a 9-7 record for that second wild card, but I think Denver's showing that they're a good team. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Steelers. I think they could beat Cincinnati, and I'm surprised that they're not the favorite here, but it is in Cincinnati. There's other two games that I mentioned, the Chargers and the Steelers. That one was in Denver, I believe. Well, no, Denver was in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, Denver and Pittsburgh, then Denver and Cincinnati. It's looking good for the Broncos. I don't know why they're not the favorite there, but Cincinnati's had a good defense, but A.J. Green might be coming back, but Denver, I think, should win that one. Then we have the Rams at Detroit, 9.5-point favorites. I'm going Rams. Then we have Arizona at Green Bay. Green Bay is a 14.5-point favorite. I'm going Green Bay. Then Buffalo at Miami. Miami's 5.5-point favorites. I think that'll be an interesting game, but I'm gonna give home field advantage to Miami. I think Miami can get it done. Chicago at the Giants. Chicago is a 4.5-point favorite. They're gonna be without Trubisky, but I'm gonna go Chicago. Carolina at Tampa. Carolina's 3.5-point favorites. I'm gonna go Panthers on that one. I think that's a little tight for a spread. Colts at Jacksonville, 3.5-point favorites. Colts. I'm going to go Colts on that one, but Jacksonville at home could be a good one. Cleveland at Houston. Houston is 4.5-point favorite over Cleveland. That would be awesome for Cleveland to win that game, but I got to go Houston on that one. Then we have Jets at Tennessee, and I'm really hoping the Titans win this one. They're 10.5-point favorites, which is a huge spread. It'll be at 4 o'clock Eastern time. I gotta go Titans on that one. Hopefully they can bounce back. Houston's a good team, and that was a tough week last week, but I think they'll handle the Jets. Then we have Kansas City at Oakland. Kansas City is 15.5-point favorites. I'm gonna go Kansas City. Then we have Minnesota at New England, and New England is 6.5-point favorites, and I think I'm gonna go Minnesota on that one. New England, being at home, it usually helps them. 6.5 is a little high for me because Minnesota's still a pretty good team. They don't really have the record this year, but I gotta go Minnesota on that one for an upset. And then San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle's 10.5-point favorites, which is kind of high for them. But San Francisco is a decent team, getting better. But Seattle's coming off a big win against the Panthers because of a missed field goal and then a late made field goal. I'm gonna go Seattle on that one, but I think it'll be closer than 10.5. Then the Chargers at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 3.5-point favorite for Sunday Night Football. I'm going to go Chargers on that one. I think the Chargers are they're kind of the better team right now. I don't know. It should be a good game. But I just feel like that should have been like a half-point spread maybe, and I could have gone along with it. But I'm going to go Chargers on that one. Then Monday Night Football, NFC East battle between Washington and Philadelphia. Philadelphia's 6.5-point favorites. It's going to be interesting. I don't know how that one's going to turn out. I'm going Philadelphia on that because they have less injuries to deal with, but I don't think this is going to be that high scoring of a game. But I will go Philadelphia on that for Monday night. And there are no teams on bye this week because we're getting into playoff time almost. And that's good for those that are starting fantasy football playoffs. Mine start next week, so hopefully my guys aren't resting or whatever for the real life playoffs, and they can do well for me in my league. But that'll just about wrap up this week. Hope everyone enjoys it, and hopefully I predicted most of these right. But I will see you guys all next week.